Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. This is the Bright Sun Podcast with your host, David Pierre. And today, I want to talk about why you probably, or why you don't, deserve it. Recently, and even throughout my life, I hear people talk about why they deserve this, why they deserve that, how they deserve all the good things, how they deserve everything. And even when people would tell me that, with me not saying anything like that, man, it sounds good. Hey, you deserve everything you want. You deserve all the good things in life. You deserve blah blah blah. Yeah, oh yeah, like I do, huh? That sounds nice. But once you start thinking about it, it's well, what does that mean? What does it mean to deserve something or all those things? Well, that means to do something or have or show qualities worthy of having that. Even more examples of based off of what you've done or what you've shown is justified for why you have that. It's reasonable, it's proper, it's suitable, it fits. You've earned it. It's fair, it's just, it's right, merited. All these things that have to do with something being done or requirements or conditions for something to make sense, for it to work, that it is fair in this objective sense that of rationale and logic. And when it comes to being worthy of something, you got to ask yourself that. What is this thing that apparently I deserve? And what does it require for you to even earn that or be worthy of that? Because you can say whatever you want. You can say, I deserve this, I deserve that. You can say, I deserve $1 million. I deserve a happy life. I deserve a wife, a husband, love, whatever. Well, why? Just because you say so? That's not how that works. You have to do something about that. You have to be a person that can or that gets that. I guess that also goes into self improvement, that goes into success, that goes into relationships and whatnot. What person are you that attracts or that the qualities that a person needs to have, the habits, the actions, the thinking that a person needs to have in order for those things to happen, to exist, to be earned. And once you start asking yourself those questions, you start seeing about how growth can be calculated in a sense that you can decide to be who you want to be to get what you want. You don't have to stay being the person you are, and then, well, within due time, you'll see how much of staying who you are, of that current person, that gets that thing that you want. Because typically, the current you would have gotten what they either have worked for, or there's a mixture of that and circumstance. Of course, things that you can't control. But for things that you can control, there's that part of action and qualities and skills and mindsets that you can obtain that can be improved or worked on or changed or adapted for you to actually get to that place, get what you want, get that person, be that person. And to say that you deserve something without that is more of like an ego thing. It's something that you say with naive and ignorance because it doesn't make sense. It just sounds good. That's all it is. It simply sounds good to say. And if something doesn't happen your way, then either you're disappointed or you're more hurt. And when you do think that way, that's how you experience more pain because you think you deserve or you have these expectations that aren't in reality and that are so subjective that once reality hits, you're hit by a punch instead of a jab or instead of like a slap on the wrist because of these expectations that you garnered, that you've collected from maybe misperceptions, experience, other people saying something. Not that you're a bad person, that you can't have anything good. It's more thinking and being intentional, conscious of how you say something and how your expectations affect you, affect others, and how there's an objectivity to the topic of deserving something. Because we can all subjectively say what we want and what we should have, shoulda, woulda, coulda, and after that, it's what does it mean for something to be should? Because should means ideally means need. I should have this. Oh, so you not having it isn't right. And I wonder how many things that really fits for. And based off of what you think you deserve, and you think about what are you doing, what qualities, what skills do you have that are either going to get you to there or for you to even have it now, I'd say there's a good chance that you probably don't have those things. Or you're going to have to play the waiting game to see how it works for you and then go from there. And if it doesn't work, look, that's fine. You've tried. Now, push ego and pride aside and grow, learn, adapt, change so that you can have that, because you can be wrong, you can be misguided, you can misinterpret things, have a different perspective, have bias that can have you think that what you are doing is enough, or that you don't need to do anything else, or that you should just be given it. So many different things that different things can affect, and you got to make sure that you're as clear as possible so that not only you reduce suffering, but you also have a clear way of knowing how to get what you want out of life and in life. And so think about that. Do you deserve that? What is it? Write down a list of things that you think or believe that you deserve in general. Doesn't have to be a whole lot. You as a person right now, based off of who you are, how you are, and what you've done, what do you deserve? What have you earned? What is justified for you to have accomplished, obtained, learned? More of accomplished or obtained, because that's usually what it is about, some sort of reward, whether it be, once again, love or gifts or favors or something like that, money. What do you think you should have, and what do you think you have earned thus far? Think about that. Go from there. Ask the questions. Why, how, when, where. Push ego and pride aside, and let me know how it goes. And then maybe you will deserve it. But yeah, think about that. I've been thinking about that. And honestly, I don't really think, I'm not really sure how much I really deserve. All I really worried about is what I earned, what I've done to get something. And I leave it at that. And knowing that if you are in a place that isn't right, that's not fair, that you know why that is, and you remove yourself from that place. And knowing that with you respecting yourself and valuing yourself in that way, like when you're in an environment, when you're in a space and you say to yourself, I do not deserve this, or this isn't right for me to be experiencing this or to be given this, you also with that are also saying that you do things or you have qualities that are above or that aren't equal or that aren't of this. If you're not supposed to be in a place, you're supposed to be somewhere else. And if this place is a negative place, that means there's a better place for you to be, meaning that you are a person that are doing and showing qualities of things for you to be already in that better place, or you should be there. And for some reason, could be uncontrollable circumstances of life, people, whatnot, that you're there and you've made that aware and conscious that you shouldn't be there. So also be responsible and be aware of what that means. Like you must now also behave and act accordingly so that that stays true. Because the moment you say, I shouldn't be here, I shouldn't be treated this way, this is unfair, or I don't deserve this, the moment you do something that makes you being there justified, it's going to be hard to debate with anybody or even yourself internally as to why you should have been anywhere else or received or gotten anything. So do think about that, because whatever it is you want, you got to think about what it takes to get that and be okay with the things that come with that, mattering how much you really want it. If it requires change, if it requires growth and change, if it requires unlearning, if it requires learning, if it requires sacrifice, if it requires trust, look at what it is that you want out of life, what you want from people, what you want out of yourself, and think about objectively as possible and probable, how much you have to do for that, what it takes, and what it requires. Because most times out of others, or most of the time, it requires either more than yourself currently, or it requires change and growth. Because if I were to ask you, if I were to tell you, do you want to live your best life, or do you want to deserve all the good things or get all the good or great things in life, and you say yes, then that means that you must also be willing to become the person that deserves and earns that. And if you're not willing to do that, then don't be surprised when you die and you didn't get that. You could be okay with that. You can. It's about actually being okay with that. And if you're not, then do what it takes, because it'll be worth it. If it's what's best for you, if it's better, if it's good, right? If it serves you, do it. Yeah. Think about that. And y'all have a good night, good afternoon, and good morning. Out.